What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another YouTube video. I know it's been a few weeks. Sorry, it's like getting dark again. Focus. All right, I would just like to preface this video with, I am so sorry that all my videos lately are talking videos and like updating you about my hip, and like there's like no workout videos or whatever the case is. I'm sorry about that. If you don't want to hear me like talking forever, you can totally not watch this video. It's fine. But this will be another talking video because I'm going to update you guys about what's been going on. So stay tuned if you'd like to hear. If not, totally understand. All right, what's been going on? So last time I talked to you guys, I was still going to the Arnold to update you guys on what happened with that. So let me like put you in a better positioning. Hold on. Okay, so I was supposed to leave March 1st, which was a Thursday, at like 5:50 in the morning. And the Wednesday before, that's the day before, I was starting to feel like a little bit of an ache in my hip, and it was actually like pretty painful, but it was just painful in the sense that like there was just like a throbbing there that was just like super intense, and it just got worse and worse throughout the day. But I didn't really pay much attention to it. I was just like, okay, like maybe it's just like having a weird day. So from there, I was working that day, so I went to get some food before my last few clients. And when I got back from that, I stepped out of the car and my hip just gave out. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, it's what you'd probably imagine like if you broke a bone or something, like right there. Like, that's how painful it was. And I remember there was a guy that like was getting out of his car at the same time that happened, and I like audibly made like a sound, like I screeched or something, and he kind of like looked over and then like was standing there kind of like just trying to decide if he was like gonna come help or something. And he ended up like going into this building that's right next to the gym I work at. So like these people were like in there like looking at me like, is this woman okay? Like, what's going on? I was like crying. I was like sweating because it made me break out in a sweat. It was so painful. So I like limped my way into, my job, and I ended up driving myself to the ER. And my whole thing, like, I was still like dead set on going on my trip at this point. So in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to drive myself to the ER. I'm going to get in there. They're going to give me a steroid shot, and then I'll just be able to address whatever's going on with my hip after I come back from the trip. So I got to the ER, and it was about 7:30 in the afternoon or in the evening. I sat in that waiting room for 6 hours. I didn't get called back until about 12:30. And a doctor didn't come in until about 1. So at that point, I have a flight at 5:50. Remember that. I'm not even packed. I like need to get back home. So I went in there, and I kind of was just like, like looking back on, I was probably kind of mean to them because I was like, hey, like, don't even bother taking x-rays. It's like, I'm already seeing specialists for it. Like, they don't know what's going on. All I need is a steroid shot, and I'll be on my way. And of course, in the ER, they're not allowed to give out steroid shots because I guess it's just not in their specific department that they're allowed to do that. So what they ended up doing was giving me a shot of Tramadol, I think that's what it's called, and Morphine. Like 2 shots in my butt, like, of this medicine. Super intense. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I was like, all right, like, this should help maybe get me through my trip. So we didn't get home until about 2 in the morning. So I'm like, all right, I need to pack. So I was able to like get in and out of the car and like walk up the stairs, but it was still painful. So I was like, oh, like this is not gonna be good, only because with the steroid shot, like you suffer for a few hours and then it kicks in, and it's almost like you never even had the injury in the first place. Like they're beautiful, but that's not what they gave me. So what ended up happening was the mix of the 2 pain medications that they gave me, the Tramadol and the Morphine, made me extremely sick. Like, I was very nauseous from about 30 minutes after the shot until the next morning, honestly. But those few hours afterwards, like while I was packing, I was literally crawling on my floor, pulling stuff out of my drawers so that I could like pack it in my suitcase. So I'm like pulling stuff out, trying to go slow because like my hip hurt, but then I was also like disgustingly nauseous. And so at about 3:30 in the morning, I couldn't take it anymore, and I ended up throwing up. So I was like puking at like 3:30, like left my bathroom after like getting my life together, and then like finished packing at like 3:50 or something like that. tried to lay down and sleep until about 4:10, and then I had to like go to the airport. So my dad drove me to the airport, and like on the way to the airport, like I'm like out of it. Like, mind you, the morphine also kind of makes you like woozy kind of. So like I don't even know like what year it is. It was probably like 30 minutes after like I threw up the first time that I already felt like I had to throw up again. I like made it through the drive there. So now we're at the airport at this point. Like, I'm still so adamant about going, and like looking back on it, it's actually kind of funny because it's just like, girl, like at this point you should have gave up. I was like, I'm going on this trip. Like, I paid for it myself. Like, I like worked like extra hours that week, or that whole month, so that I could pay for the trip. And I was about it. Like, I was like, this is like gonna be a great trip. Like, I'm gonna like, I don't even know. So we got into the airport, and like little signs here and there, other than like the massive sign that I shouldn't have gone. Like, there were even more signs at the airport. Like, I tried to sign in and check in or whatever, and the computer wouldn't let me sign in, or the little kiosk wouldn't let me sign in. So I had to like try to go to the desk, and there was so many people in line at 5:50 in the morning. I'm like, where are you people going? As I'm getting in line to go talk to the desk people about checking in, like, my stomach does this heave thing, and I'm like, oh God, like, and I like break out in a sweat, and I'm like, oh, it's coming, it's coming. Couldn't even make it to the bathroom, which was maybe a grand total of like 30 steps away from me. I like just ran to the nearest trash can, like in the middle of everyone, and just like puked in their trash can at 5 in the morning. Like, it was disgusting, guys. Like, I don't even understand. Like, looking back on it, it's just like, girl, what? And like in the middle of me puking, I was like, fine, like I won't go, I won't go. My dad was telling me the whole time that we were driving there, he's like, look, you don't have to go. Like, you are clearly not in the shape to travel right now. So I ended up just like being like, you know what, like, I can't do this. Like, if I'm gonna puke every 30 minutes, like, me traveling is not going to be good, especially with the different altitude and the pressure, and it's just like, and just flying, I would just be puking all over that plane, and it just would not be good. Ended up driving all the way back home, was on the phone for an hour getting like a refund, which thank God, like I got my full refund and everything. I just went home, and then I slept until like noon the next day, was still sick the next day. Wasn't puking though, which was good, because I literally can't handle puking at all. It makes me like, I'm just like done after that. So that's what happened. But the good thing is that like the whole weekend my hip was in like so much pain that I knew that if I had gone to Ohio and like tried to push through it, like I wouldn't have been able to walk around those expos all day long when I could like barely walk around my house. Like it's just so much better that it all happened here before I went, instead of it like giving out on me in a whole different state. So yeah, that's what happened with that. Since then, it's been pretty bad actually. Like, I was on crutches for the last 2 weeks. I only just got off of the crutches in the last week or so. Like, it's been feeling okay. I'm able to walk and stuff. But, you know, we went back to the doctor. I went back to the ER Wednesday or something like, or the next Friday. Then went back the next Monday. Still didn't get a steroid shot. It's just been a series of like hospital visits and doctor's appointments and all that stuff just to really still get no answer. But I did get x-rays a few weeks ago, and they told me that I have early stages of arthritis in L5-S1. So if anyone knows what that is, that's your lower back, basically like lower into your pelvis, which is where the pain started. But they did say that you know, it wouldn't cause the type of pain that I have. I don't doubt that that would be a part of it. So I'm kind of like, all right, like, I'm 23 with early signs of arthritis. Like, that's good. The thing is, they keep telling me that it has something to do with lifting, and I really just don't see that being an issue. One, I never really power lifted. The only time I ever got into powerlifting slightly was after my 4th competition, and I never really got into it. I mean, I did a strength program when I was in California last year, but I mean, power lifters, Olympic lifters, people like that, I mean, they lift heavy weights for however long, like longer than a 2-month period, and you don't see a lot of people with arthritis or bone issues or anything like that. Lifting weights is actually supposed to make your bones stronger. So I don't believe that the lifting I've been doing or anything like that would have caused this type of pain. I think it's just one of those things that's specific to me. I have another doctor's appointment on the 30th. So we're gonna see what they say, but yeah. Other updates, I mean, really, this whole injury's kind of taken over my whole life. I'm kind of like in a rut right now as far as just like everything. I've got other things going on outside of just my hip. I don't feel like myself. I'm always, I just feel like I'm kind of like moving through life. Like I feel like I'm only making progress in the sense that I'm just not the type of person who can just sit around or whatever, but at the same time, I feel like I'm just like a shadow of myself. I feel like I kind of just float through life at this point. I don't know. I don't really have like a fire or like excitement about anything anymore. Yeah, I'm just like, yeah. Some of it has to do with the injury, and you know, some it was like other stuff, but injuries suck. Especially like when your whole life is based off of you being well and being able to move. Like, and even if it wasn't just me lifting, like I am also a personal trainer. It's been difficult training my clients. You know, when my hip was really bad, you know, a lot of them were cool with me having to reschedule because I couldn't even walk, let alone like going in and showing them. But whenever I can, even when it's really bad, for the most part, I'll still go to work, but it just still hinders my ability to train as best as I can because I have to sit the whole time. I have to try to explain things without showing them. It's not like I just work like a desk job where I can sit and still do my job. Like it's difficult. Surprisingly, I've figured out a way to, you know, like circumvent the whole thing. I still go to work. It's just about like finding a new way to do what I do. But yeah, I guess I say all of that to say that, you know, I know this is just like a phase. I know that it's not gonna last forever. And I know that I'll like get out of my funk and be able to, you know, do things again once they figure out what's wrong with me. And I guess everyone just has, you know, you're gonna fall off for months or whatever the case is. Things are gonna happen in life that are gonna, you know, like challenge you and cause issues sometimes. So I'm just going through one of those times right now. It's not easy, but I feel like it's worth sharing just because I know that even if it's not like an injury you might be dealing with, at least you know someone else is going, you know, other people are going through stuff too. But I'm making it. I really am trying to like make it without getting too down about it. I really am a lot more okay with everything that's going on than I'm making it seem. I have more stuff going on that's worse than the whole hip issue. Real honestly. Like I said, I'm just going through a period, and it'll eventually be over. But I will definitely update you guys about what's going on with the hip, and especially after the 30th. But if I'm gonna be honest, I really don't think I'm gonna get an answer even on the 30th. I'm praying I do, but you know, even if I did get an answer about what it is on the 30th, it's not like it's gonna be over then, because all they're gonna do is diagnose it on the 30th. As far as treatment or whatever the case is, I don't know. I'd have to figure that out that day. But it won't happen that day. We'll see how long this goes for. But we're riding the wave, aren't we? We're just riding the wave. So yeah, just wanted to give you guys an update. I'm sorry that all my videos are talking videos and I talk forever, but bear with me, and thank you to all the people who still watch this, even if it's just to hear me vent or talk about what's going on with me for like 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go in here, get some work done on the computer before I have to go back to work, and we'll take it from there. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next video.